you're having I hope you're having a very good morning so far. This is VOP 90.3 FM. How are you? I'm back for the second round of programming, and we're going to be taking a look first at your messages that I didn't finish taking the other time, and then we'll be joining Comrade Omoyele Sowore. He'll be our guest. I'll be looking at the protest, the planned protest, and everything surrounding it. And so I'll quickly take the pending messages. I promised I was going to do this, and here we go. All right. Thank you very much. It's a lovely Friday. They told us that vote wisely, which we did. Tell me, is the result wise? They said, follow who know road. Please, are we in the right road? Finally, the campaign goes like this. If you know you have any secret in your wardrobe, join our party and you'll be covered. So what result do you expect past Pepe? They turned me to debtor. My name is Kashika Paul from Kirikiri Town. Thanks. Thank you for word balancing. One bad man may be another man's hero. Oh, thank you so much, Kashika Paul. And we'll come off for debtor by the grace of God. Amen. Good morning, my dear sister. My name is Olushesi Aderoju from Satellite Town. My contribution this morning is simply kudos to Chief Ikan with his submission this morning. None of the traditional leaders will say the truth to the president, not a balanced consultation. All right. Good morning, ladies. Here, I want to speak on the area of monarchs being used as political tools to destroy democracy. These people have not paid salary, or they paid the last one on the 19th of last month. Who be these people? You all got them? Why now? Nigerians are the easiest people to govern, and that is why the government is taking them for granted. If they have access to their farms and can travel through the length and breadth of this nation, they will not bother so much about bad governance. The use of traditional rulers to counter and subdue the protests is a misplaced project and will surely boomerang. I pity this government and APC because no one of them have solution to the issues at hand. Osadebe Waje from Shasha. Kenechuku from Festa, good morning. So the military can be bold, threatening protesters, but cannot be bold to threaten bandits and Boko Haram? It's a shame on them. Kenechuku from Festa. If you sow wind, you will reap whirlwind. Mr. President didn't beg for more time from Jonathan before he called for revolution. Good morning, Lady C. Nana from Okeafa. Government thugs that will be used to attack hungry and angry Nigerians might not escape the wrath of the people this time. So I advise them to steer clear from the protest. David from Ikpaja. You seem not to believe that there is a gang up against Indigbo in this country. I never said so. Every time you'll be asking for evidence, of course, as you don't know that they won't allow anyone to take pictures as you demanded. My brother, it's called undercover. I didn't tell you to carry camera, go stand for front. They take people picture. If they beat you now, you know, everything is done undercover. All those people who filmed Mama Shukudi and Papa Shukudi, they did it undercover. It's undercover. You do it undercover. With that, if you hold them for wrists, nobody can deny. You better believe, I believe. Good morning to you. My name is David from Ikorodu. Illegal refinery in Niger Delta is not good. Government should not encourage it. It destroys farmland. It pollutes water and kills fishes. It is economic sabotage. The refined so-called machine is not standard. It can only refine one product and throw the rest in the water, which is very dangerous. For the good of the people, this sabotage should be stopped. David from Ikorodu, thank you. Good morning to you. I'm glad to join your platform. Thank you very much. We Nigerians are seriously suffering. A lot of us can't feed our families anymore due to wrong policies from the government. I have to beg a friend to help me with 500 naira to join buy Gary to feed my family. Even this morning, no hope of eating breakfast, talk of lunch. Thanks, Umukoro. Utogene. I'm so sorry, Mukoro. That's all I can say. Good morning, Lady C. On Chifiwanya was demise, may so rest in peace. Tinubu's administration became a curse to Nigerians since inception. The protest must go on. The DSS and the military warning Nigerians on protest is a big shame. They can't fight terrorists, but ordinary Nigerians. Our traditional rulers are great disappointments. Mayor Infester, thank you. Osita Chibuike, I got you. The major problem in Nigeria is the so-called elites who cannot look the president in the eyes and tell him the truth that all the things he has been doing since his inception have not been working. They will go to Abuja and sing the president's song. The president has brought it to himself private jets, yachts, SUVs, new houses, etc. The reason our economy has been crippled. If military and security agents get information this fast, why has Boko Haram and terrorism remained here since 2009? If this protest failed to hold, I will know that Nigeria has been fully captured. The reason for the protest is hunger and nothing else. All these people talking about solve the problem of hunger in Nigeria. From Musida, Chibuike. Alright, President Tinubu is chasing shadows and the people are chasing the cloud. Tinubu should fight corruption and insecurity and let the people fight the system, electoral laws that brought them to power. Good morning, ladies. Say thank God it's Friday as they are preparing for protest, so they are planning for Uru Festival the same day. Now, wow, for Niger. Please let Mr. President kindly release Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, undiluted bossman, Pepe Dem, Ladipo Market, Mushe. That's why you sent it from. Hello to you. You didn't put a name, you just put your message. All right, I think that is that. I'm done with the messages, but Akajaja, you're already here. On Dangote and NNPC issue, I can only use my Igbo adage that says, when tortoises are together in a business lie, lie is always on the run. Arrest my case. Sorry, I didn't get that, but Akajaja, I'm sure you got that. I already have my guest. He's already online. He's joining us from the US. And thank God for technology. He is here with me, and we will be talking. Joseph Olorenshaw is also here in the studio. Hi, Joseph.
Good morning. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning to you too. And I also have Sowore. Comrade is on the line. Hello, comrade. How are you?
Good morning. Can you hear me loud and clear?
I can hear you loud and clear. How are you doing? You good?
Good morning.
Good
I'm
morning.
good. Thank you very much.
Great.
Yeah.
So we just move on straight on and we'll just go straight to August 1. August 1 is the main reason for this discourse, and it's been the main talk all over town. And you've been one who's been talking about revolution now for as long as I can remember. You've been asking for a switch, a change in the way things are being done. Before we move on, for people who do not understand truly, what do you mean by revolution now?
It is very direct and very succinct. And what I would say to people who are listening is that the way to break this down is that things no longer work for you and me in Nigeria. And there's no way things can work on their own, except there's a confrontation between good and bad, because the bad part of our country, its citizens, the worst amongst us, are taking over power, and they're using it to oppress, to enrich, and destroy our own destinies individually and collectively. What the revolution does, as it's always done in every society that's had a revolution, not us, is that it puts an end to this culture of impunity, of the oppressive system, of nepotism, tribalism, of high level, high handedness, corruption, and all forms of things that you see in society today that makes you feel like I have to run, I have to close my eyes, I can't stand this anymore, I've had enough. It's what we want to put a stop to at once. And then have a reset and fresh start. In a layman's language, it's just like you have a phone that you bought and all the apps are no longer working. You can only barely make a phone call on it. You can't use WhatsApp again. What you do is that you shut down that phone, you clean the system up completely, and restart and reset the phone and start uploading new apps so that it can work for you and others that you might need to communicate with. This is the way to lay it down, because I know a lot of people use mobile phones, especially smartphones, a lot in Nigeria. Maybe this can break it down to their level. So that's what revolution is about, because
Mm.
Nigeria has tried every other thing. We tried reforms, economic. We hear that all the time since I was born. So always something's going to happen. They said they provide you water in 1980, then they move it to 1990, and then they said it's year 2000. They'll give you democracy. They'll give you good schools, but
Mm.
everything has broken down irretrievably, and there's no point pretending that this is going to change except we change it ourselves.
Mm. And one thing that comes to mind is the fact that this has been going on for a long while. You said so, and even before now, we've always had one form of protest in the country, beginning from the time of the military till this point. And you were part of some of those protests in the old. Now let's go back a little bit. Let's compare then and now. What is the difference? Why is there so much tension when you guys had your own protests then? Way back, let's say during Abacha's time and all that. How was it? How was it different from what we're seeing now? Because now I see a lot of people running from pillar to post, screaming about danger and so on. Was it like this then?
Oh, it was more dangerous during the military because if you go out of your house during the military time period and to protest, you are most likely going to confront soldiers who will just shoot at you, policemen, the usual kill and go police. But those days, it was understandable because we knew we were under military rule, right? But we are also still in the same line of fire, even under civilian rulership.
Mhm.
And that is why people start to question democracy. That's why sometimes people say to you, oh, you fought for democracy, but this is trash that you have now. They're still doing what they used to do during the military era. In fact, some people can look at some of the military dictators and say they were better off than the civilian uh, rulers
Real.
we have now. Yes. So that is why this needs to change. That we we could go in those days, but I'll shock you. In our days, if a civilian court gives a ruling or an order, the military will respect it. Except if they have a decree that says they must not respect it. But if the decree doesn't say they can't respect it, they will respect it. But under this civilian rule, they have no respect for the judiciary. The the national legislative arm is like a rubber stamp. It's even worse than a rubber stamp because at least you can change the date on the rubber stamp these days. They are it's the same thing. You just place them and put it, and they don't care because it's all rub my back,
Mm.
rub your back kind of system. So, and the executive, of course, is criminal. So, you have all of these three arms of government who are supposed to be checking on themselves all fused together. Reason being that they're the ones making the recruitments. The judges recruit their children into the judiciary. The executive does the same. The legislative system are just a bunch of contractors in Abuja. They're not making laws. They're just running contracts. If you go to the National Assembly and you look at all the contracts that's coming out of there, or the ones that comes out. In fact, when they tell you they want to come and do oversight of the ministry, is to come and bring the ministry to their office to be extorted or to be forced to give contracts to them and their wives. They do it openly. So we've reached a point that the US, for instance, was, in the early 1900s when the mafia was in charge of everything, including the police chief, the contracting system. At the point, the mafia was also in charge of the unions. I'm talking about the labor unions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also where we are today. The mafia that's holding up Nigeria are also in charge of the labor unions. Look at this period now. All Nigerians are saying, let's protest, let's fight hunger, let's end bad governance. What is the Nigeria Labour Congress doing? They are issuing motivational speeches every day. We are not the one who called the strike. Oh, please don't tell us to call it off. You understand? Even Nigerians are asking for them to be paid 250,000 naira as minimum wage. They went and accepted 70,000. They were doing bosa for the president. Money that cannot even take you home from where you had the meeting with the president. Money that can buy you recharge card for some of them in one day. Money that can buy a bag of rice. Money that can buy medicine for somebody who has malaria. or typhoid, as it's normally called. Money that cannot transport a soldier who's at the war front in Maiduguri back to his village, even if he gets a pass.
Mm.
Money that cannot pay the school fees of a child who's going to any school for that matter, whether it's state, federal, or local. A money that just can't enable you do anything. They're all
Okay.
there shouting Bosa, Bosa for the
Comrade,
president. Over 70 times, yes.
comrade, I want to find out directly from you now. You've been talking about revolution now for a while, as I mentioned, and recently, when this whole August protest came up, the cry from some of the, I'll call them spokesperson for the presidency, said that the people who are behind this are people who lost elections, they are disgruntled, and fingers were pointed at one in particular, Peter Obi, and a lot of people were like, this man has never mentioned anything. The person who talks more about this is Sowore. Why are you calling Peter Obi? When you heard that, how did you feel when you heard the allegation of these are the people responsible, disgruntled people, and so on?
You see, you must understand the psychology of power. If they look at society and they see dissent, they see resistance, and they see that there's mobilization going on in society, they will look for the weakest link to break the resistance. They understand that Peter Obi doesn't like problems. So, in mentioning his name, they know he will deny it. And he will start helping them to demobilize his followers, who are likely young Nigerians who are restless. That's why they mentioned his name. If they mention my name, Thunder will just fire them immediately. You understand? So, because we'll be raining bricks on them. They know that. They understand who I am. They understand. Bayo Ononuga used to be a journalist. He understand. He used to cover my activities at the University of Lagos in the 90s. He knows the way I think. And that's what I was saying on the show the other day. I'm surprised that Peter Obi is going to court to sue him. If they say you're organizing a protest, it's not a good thing for the people. Why would you say it's defamatory? There's nothing defamatory in doing a good thing. But they know him. They know Peter Obi would just be packing aside. Please, I don't want problem more. That's why they are calling Peter Obi now. If you look at the release yesterday again, they've changed that. They have now claimed that the planners are faceless, even though we are showing our face on it. That's what Bayo Nonuga wrote yesterday on Twitter, that the planners are faceless. The DSS is saying that, well, they know the planners, but they didn't mention anybody's names because they know who we are. That if you mention our names, you are only pouring petrol inside an already raging fire. So that is what they are doing is what they call psyops, psychological operations. So when you pick on the weakest part of somebody's sensitivity, and then use it to demobilize him or destabilize the person or a group of people. That's what they do. So what it didn't start with Bayo Nonuga. It started with one commissioner of police in Zamfara who said that people who are planning protests are terrorists, bandits, and unemployed Nigerians. Do you know how we responded? How did Nigeria come about terrorists and bandits and unemployment? Is it not three people? So deal with it. And that one ran away. So they've gone full circle, right?
I think
And
the next full circle that they've gone through, if you say so, is the fact that they're saying that most of those who are behind this facelessly, in quote, are in the diaspora using artificial settings to chat, to talk with people, and just spurring people on back home. But they are in the diaspora, and true to form, you're in the diaspora.
look, all these things are rubbish. They don't want to deal with what is coming, and they have also seen it. Because I'm speaking with you, a lot of them have moved their families abroad. The senators and the House of Rep members are taking a 7 weeks break. I think in Bayelsa, all the judges are gone on vacation automatically. Everybody's going on vacation. Even in Lagos, where they said they wanted to have Oro Festival, all of them are saying no, they don't want to do Oro Festival anymore. Because, you know that joke, it's not a joke, there was a musician in Lagos I think it's Obesere. They had a popular song that says, "Egungun, be careful, na
Nice
express
where
we dey
should they
go."
go?
So they know that you don't have enough masquerades or Egungun in Lagos to stop what is coming. So it's the same thing around the country. And it's the same thing in the north, it's the same thing in the south, it's the same thing in north central, northwest, northeast, southeast, and the southern part of Nigeria, southwest. They've used everything. They've used religion. They're not used religion a lot this time because they have exhausted religion. They've already put on Nigeria a Muslim ticket. So nobody's going to say, well, it is because we don't have a Christian. Nigerians said, okay, you have a Muslim, so you can't use religion anymore. But they are paid up pastors, paid up imams in the north. It hasn't worked. They are not using ethnicity. Oh, it's the Igbos who want to come and burn down Lagos. As if there are no Igbos in Lagos who are paying taxes. As if Igbos are not participating in elections. When they want to win elections in Lagos, they go to Igbos, they go and bet them. They even go and ask them, the rich Igbo businessmen, they go and collect money from them. Are you getting my point? When they look for people who are sharp, who can do administrative work, they go and recruit an Igbo man. There was an Igbo commissioner in Lagos, who later became the minister of budget. I think it was the person in charge of budget
Ben,
planning in Abuja
Ben.
somewhere. So when they're looking for sharp people, they don't have problem with Igbo. But when there's protests, because Nigeria has an Igbo problem, which is that it's the easiest way to demobilize or mobilize people is like, it's Igbo now. They want to come and collect your house. They want to come and collect your money. You understand? They will use all of that. And it's unbelievable because we are supposed to be one united country. But when people rise up to say we need food, you are saying it's because they're Igbo. I've never seen a market where food is cheaper for Igbos in Nigeria than it is for Yorubas. The Yorubas who were celebrating a Milokon when Tinubu was coming, they are now shouting a Bilokon, which is meaning it is time for hunger. And all of them are asking to be given a fresh list of life. So, but it has become propaganda. Now they've shifted to the diaspora. How is diaspora the people who are in the north? The people who are most active on these end governance protests are based in the north. Northerners don't even like traveling abroad as much as or as many as Southerners do. Are you getting my point? So how is that a diaspora problem? But they must find somebody to blame but themselves. You are the one who went and contested election, rigged yourself in with INEC, and said that you are going to change Nigeria. And the day you arrived, you decided to impose the biggest punishment on Nigeria, that saying we're removing fuel subsidy without any plan for how that would dislocate the economy. And then you floated the naira. And then you increased the tariff for electricity. Even people who are managing to do weather and all that, they now have nothing. They can't afford to pay your band A or the bandit electrical, you know, uh, classifications that you put in place. So everybody's folding up. Companies are folding up, So now people are saying we want to reset our system, and you're accusing them of being evils,
Okay.
as if Yorubas don't get hungry, or like Hausas are not hungry, or Fulanis are not hungry, or BBOs are not hungry.
Okay.
So I'm just explaining this so that people can understand, including those who might have been fooled into believing their propaganda. That has nothing to do with your ethnicity. That's not something to do with your humanity.
All right. So the issue of diasporans, some I believe may be coming for it, while some may be organizing in the diaspora. Because I was just running through some of the things that you brought out and other people. That it's like there are roadmaps of why it's going to move in other parts of the world, not just in Nigeria.
Absolutely. It's a global revolt against bad governance in Nigeria. Why are they afraid of diaspora? Diasporas are contributing over $50 billion every year through remittances to Nigeria. If you love their money, why is it that you don't want to hear their voice? In fact, I think it is because of diasporans that Nigeria economy has not collapsed completely. Otherwise, we'll be gone. because every time people send money home, to support people want to wed, people want to. Now they even have money transfer systems that can help you help somebody. You can buy groceries for somebody and they go and pick it up in the grocery store at the shop, right? That's
Wow.
how important the diaspora community is. So, and part of the demands this time around that there must be diaspora voting. Because if you are collecting diaspora money, you must allow them to be part of the decision making process in the during the election cycles.
So, what are some of the demands? Because people are just joining. The only thing they know is that this is a hunger protest. We are hungry kind of protest.
It is
But what are
not.
the other demands?
This is beyond hunger protest. If you do hunger protest, if they give you food, the protest will be over. Are you getting me?
Mm.
So this is beyond hunger. There are 15 sets of demand that was set out, and one of it fundamentally is that Nigeria needs to change fundamentally and foundationally. We want to scrap the 1999 constitution and allow people to make a constitution that will take care of all their concerns and needs and aspirations, including a referendum if you want to leave Nigeria. It should be part of our constitution. It should be part of our constitution that we don't want certain laws that are archaic and unacceptable to us. It should be part of the constitution that Nigeria is a secular society, that you don't have to sponsor people to go to Hajj or Israel. It should be part of the constitution that Nigerian children should enjoy free education up to university level, because that's some of the things we have, and that our national resources should not be privatized. And the reason I'm saying that is that you were mentioning Dangote recently before you came on the show. I think you were reading somewhere said
Yeah,
Dangote's, they told you a few years ago that government has no business in business.
exactly.
So they started selling every NEPA, the cement company. By the way, it wasn't not Boko cement that Dangote first bought. Most of the companies he has are bought from the Nigerian government. They sold it. They sold all the power stations to all these individuals.
Sold all
But
the
you know what they
government
do?
houses to
Yes,
individuals.
yes, government houses. But they turned around and started using government as a collateral to take loans, to get letters of credit. Dangote became an activist because government is no longer available for that cheap business that he does. He has waivers. You understand? Dangote, who told you years ago that we need to sell all our refinery, saying he wants to sell his refinery back to the government. So finally, government has business in business, right?
Mm.
So we're going to collect back everything that belongs to the nation. Let the nation run its own enterprises, and then appoint people there. There's no reason why Nigeria should be helping Ethiopia Airways, British Airways, Lufthansa, Emirates to be making profit when we could have where we could have kept Nigeria Airways, and by now it would have over 5,000 planes.
Mm. Joseph has a question.
The
Joseph?
re- yes, go
Joseph?
ahead.
Sowore, the traditional
Yes.
ruler and the cleric are begging the faceless or diaspora or whatever, the organizer, that they should give the president a time, because the president is making effort to address some of this issue. Assuming you are in the seat of president, you are in the position of president, what are the measures you would be using when you are confronted with this kind of situation?
Sure. If I was president of Nigeria at this point, I will immediately look at the demands and call for a meeting, not of traditional rulers, but of Nigerians. However, I'll be on Twitter Spaces, I'll be on Facebook Live. I will ask everybody to be collecting opinions, and I'll be holding meetings with everybody that is necessary. I will even attend the protest myself to address the protest, to ask what do you want, and we'll start working right there to solve the problems. But the biggest problem Nigeria has is that Nigeria keeps doing things the old way, the wrong way, and expecting a different result. This traditional ruler, this is what they do. You remember
Mm.
under the military, they will go to Abuja, they will give them money. They'll come out and address the press conference that they have seen a hole inside Abuja. That the moment they saw the hole, they discovered where the problem of Nigeria was coming from. At the time under Abacha, they say, we have seen the video that Abacha was. They are convinced that they should arrest Obasanjo and arrest for coup plotting. So that's what traditional rulers do. They were the same people who sold blacks into slavery. There's a chief Moby Dick in Badagry. It's still being celebrated today. Who was the middleman for selling slaves? You understand? These are traditional rulers. So the traditional rulers have always been part of the problem. And with due respect, this is the reason why I don't go to palaces anymore. In my last campaign, I didn't enter a palace. I cannot see myself prostrating for people who are my problems. And generally, I don't see why in 20 whatever, another man must be happy for another man to prostrate for him to be able to communicate or appreciate the person. But don't forget that these same traditional rulers who have to come and prostrate, at night they will carry the same crown and go to the government house and kneel down for the governor to get contracts. And by Nigerian law, most people don't know this. Local government chairmen are more powerful than traditional rulers. In fact, most traditional rulers are paid through a 5% fund allocated to local government that's paid. That's how they get paid. So they have already reduced them to nothing. So anytime anybody can summon a traditional ruler in Nigeria to say, come and see me, some of them will forget their shoe. They will just rush because they are lackeys of the government.
Lackeys.
And that's why they are very easy to summon. And I've seen that with due respect to, I know people will come at me and say, oh, you are forgetting your tradition. Tradition is not static. It has to be dynamic and progressive. So if your tradition is still behaving like the slave trade era, change it. You understand? Get some modern traditional rulers who can stand on their own, can stand for you. Otherwise, just change the palaces to museums.
Change the palaces to museums, Sowore has said.
Yes.
Let's go back to Ojota, when they had the rally against Jonathan. The president, aside that particular one, said that all the times he had protests, he did them peacefully. He just protested peacefully. And people are saying that you were able to protest peacefully because nobody sponsored anybody to attack you. Right? So he's calling that you guys, you have to do it peacefully if you must do it. So let's go back to those days. Why were they peaceful then? Like the Ojota one against Jonathan, there was no problem.
There was never a time protests were in peaceful in Nigeria. It's always the government that comes and introduces violence in protests. And the Tinubu regime is well known for it. They don't only introduce violence in protests, they also introduce it in elections. So, but let me also shock you that the same people who are telling that they were doing peaceful protests were together during the I wasn't in their group, but we were generally together under the same umbrella during the pro-democracy period because they were abroad, we were at home. Joseph knows this very well. We're not the one who were operating Radio Kudirat, an illegal radio station. It was operated by Payemi, who has been two-time governor of Ekiti State and minister. So don't let them lie to you that they have always been peaceful. Running a pirate radio station, is that something that sounds peaceful to you? Yes. But it was acceptable because it was a means of resistance. So there's nothing here that's, in fact, today, one of the groups planning in Abuja of our TIB, Take It Back movement, wrote a letter to Wiki to come and open the Eagle Square.
Eagle Square.
So that people can camp out there, keep their things, bath, park their cars, and when they are ready, they can go to the actual rock. They even requested that they should remove the wire mesh that is separating.
Hold on, let me read a bit of it for you. Let me just read a bit for you. It says, as one of the groups organizing the forthcoming hashtag End Bad Governance protest, Day of Rage, starting from August 1 to 10th, 2024, we at the Take It Back movement write to your esteemed office to notify you of our decision to use the Eagle Square as a point of convergence for patriotic Nigerians to demand for better governance. They go on, and some parts they put in bold. Further, your office must also ensure the provision of a 24-hour power supply, toilet facilities, water, security for the conveniences of Nigerian citizens who will be camped out at the Eagle Square. In short, that they find trouble. This is from their letter. In short, we ask that the protesters are accorded the courtesy accorded to foreign and local official dignitaries who have frequently used the space. You know, this letter actually came out after Wike had told them that Abuja is closed to any protest. You will not do any protest in FCT. So they wrote this letter, very strongly worded letter.
So what does that tell you? If they are not peaceful, would they write a letter to ask them to come and open Eagle Square? They have written to you now. Come and open it, put electricity there, make sure the water is running, put security there while we go about our peaceful endeavors. If you read the letter further, you see that this asked for 10 days at first. But they wrote there that the situation might warrant them using the place beyond 10 days.
Maybe prolonged beyond.
Yes. If they are not peaceful, would they be asking for those kind of things? If they are not peaceful, they will just break into the place now. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
So it shows that not only are they peaceful, they're civilized people who want to fix their country without bloodshed.
You know
But do you know who always introduced violence? Remember NSAS? They were using official cars to drive out trucks in Abuja. DSS driving and dropping trucks to attack people. These were captured on tape. They did the same thing in Lagos. They were using Lagos buses. Lagos owns public transportation buses to transport, thugs. You remember that iconic picture of the guy holding machete?
Yes.
Who has never been questioned or arrested till today. And he's still in Lagos there. And when they didn't succeed in doing that, they sent soldiers there to go attack and kill innocent protesters who were waving the Nigerian flag and singing the national anthem. So you tell me who is peaceful now and who is not.
This NSAS has become like a benchmark for the protests because they say, see what happened during NSAS, and they say you guys are shadowing what happened in Kenya, and how did that in Kenya go? It's still ongoing, and it's not looking like anything that will end peacefully because people also have died there while doing that. So these have been some of the foundations on which they fear for the breakdown. Anarchy have been laid, and the military also came out to say that they will be on ground. They will not allow any of those things that happened last time. DSS is saying that, oh, we have intelligence, we know that people want to come and hijack the whole thing and cause confusion in the country and so on. But you were saying that it's meant to be peaceful, and it's the state actors that are usually the ones who cause the wahala.
Have you not read tweets by there's a guy who's a spokesperson to the president who wrote a tweet that a silent majority is organizing to attack peaceful protesters. He works directly with the president. It's on Twitter. This has been going viral for days. And I want to address the military. The military ought to have understood by now that the power of the people is bigger than those of the people in power. Because the military once confronted the people of Nigeria and lost. That's why they are no longer in power today. So I don't know where they are getting the audacity from to tell people that they don't have a right to challenge their oppressors when they themselves are oppressed. Maybe not the top hierarchy, but if you know and hear from what is happening from the rank and file of the military, the police, and all the security agents, I don't think these people know what is coming at them. I don't think they understand. I don't think the intelligence they need should be those collected to stop Boko Haram and bandits and kidnappers. The muscle the military needs to be showed against Boko Haram. But here they are. They want to come and show power to the people against the people who pay their salaries. But let me just make it clear to them that the Nigerian security architecture, all of them who are armed, both the ones that their guns are working and the ones that their guns are jammed, they are not up to they are not more than 1 million. And here we have 200 million people. And out of that 200 million people, 73% of them are people who are aged below 35. So if they want to make it happen, if they want to see the wrath of the people, I will tell you that if everybody comes out today as is expected, the military will run away. But I hope they don't provoke the Nigerian people to that point where they themselves have to either join or run. Because we want them to respect themselves enough so that they can continue the process of keeping peace and protecting the public, including the protesters. Is it right? Because the culture of protest, the right of protest, the right of freedom of association is enshrined even in their own military sanctions 1999 constitution. The constitution we have now was written by the military, and it's there. I think it's in section 40 somewhere that you have a right to protest. So if they put in the constitution that you can protest, why are they now suddenly afraid of protest?
You know, when you say they don't know what is coming, there's a way you say the coming. Even me asking you the questions, I feel a ooh, what's coming? Sure, what's coming?
What's coming is simple. People have been cheated for too long. They have been maltreated for so long. And they are asking to speak freely and peacefully. And what is coming is that there's a lot more voices that will be heard this time. What is coming is that there's going to be a lot of feet on the ground because people have been voting with their thumb, but you rigged the election. Now they want to vote not with their feet, but they want to stand on their feet. That is what is coming. And I know as a student leader who has led a lot of mass revolts across Nigeria and who has seen so many of them and studied it across the world, I know that this is likely to be massive. It's likely to be massive. Yes. Because the level of hunger that is driving this is unprecedented. Let me say something before you jump in. Every revolution in the world has happened, always have started as, the problem of so-called disgruntled people. But it is when you mess with the poor that revolutions become real and fast. The French Revolution had been building up for 10 years in 1789. It wasn't until bread became scarce that it became a reality. And the French ruling class at that time were called Bourbons, like our political elites now. They did not recover from that revolution to today. They haven't. And this happened in 1789. Do you know how many centuries we've had since then? 1789, 1889, 1989, and still the Bourbons have not recovered. Because you know what is driving all this? Will kill you, will finish you. It's greed. It's because a few people collect what belongs to everybody. Somebody will work for 35 years. You don't give them their pension, including policemen. An average ASP that retires from the Nigerian police is only paid 1.6 million naira gratuity after 35 years. But the senator in Nigeria receives now 25 million naira per month. Look at that inequality. So some people are collecting maximum wage and some are confined to minimum wage. How's that not going to make it heavy
So where is the poor person in all of these? Because you know that when there is a protest, and if it does break down, because the way the people seem to be talking now, that's one other major fear. The one for Kenya, for instance, they kept showing us the major ones out on the road. There was a clip I watched once that it now spread into the inner cities, and people were looting and so on. I know that can happen. That could happen. How do we try to ensure that we do not let that happen? Because during the end SARS, at the end of the day, the ordinary person who were fighting for too became a victim. How are we going to
So
try to
you
ensure that?
must
Yeah.
understand, please, as you are in the media, and you must continue to properly situate the narrative of NSAS. NSAS started as a peaceful movement. It was when government started bossing thugs to attack NSAS uh, protesters that the thugs, some of them, when they were pushed back, started looting. It wasn't the NSAS. In fact, the people that were at NSAS at Lekki Tollgate are some of the people you can refer to as some of the middle class kids, those artists, musicians, movie stars. What are they going to do with a bag of rice from ShopRite or tin tomatoes? What? Are you getting my point? It was the government's thugs. They were the people who looted during NSAS were the people who they were using during election, who they used against NSAS protesters at the initial stage.
Let me jump
They
in
were the people
again.
who engaged.
Let me jump in,
Yes,
please.
yes.
Yes, what you're saying, we know that where I was going to wasn't to say maybe those who took part in the end SARS, because one way or the other we were supported from this corner and the other. I wasn't very active in the media at that point, so because I had taken a step back, so I was able to really participate the way I could participate. What I was going to was the fact that even with this one that we now call state sponsored, which we all saw, right? There was now this breakdown that now affected a lot of people. So I was going to this direction. How can we help to ensure that even if
No, no, no. That's
no,
why I
hold on,
said
hold on,
protect.
hold on,
Yes.
just get me. How
Okay.
can we protect ourselves so that even if these people do try to do that same thing they did then, the ordinary people would not bear the brunt of this miscreant too much? That's where I'm going to. I'm not saying whether the protesters or not. How can we do that? Force the hand maybe of the government to ensure.
Look, they,
Go
they,
ahead.
there were no NSAS, and this is why history is important, and it's contemporary. This one is verifiable.
Mm.
NSAS had specific locations where people camped out. In Lagos, they camped out in front of the Lagos government house, Alausa Ikeja. They would sleep and wake up there. There were
Mhm.
police beside them. Then in on the island, there was NSAS in
The toll gate.
the area called Lekki Tollgate.
Yeah.
Lekki Tollgate is surrounded by some of the most luxurious hotels, including Tinubu's hotel. It's right there. You know, the headquarters of Access Bank is there, right? And several banks and companies and concerns. What I'm saying is that if people decide to camp out somewhere, even people who were living in the surrounding areas were taking food to them to
True.
eat.
True.
I think so. So they'll take food to them. They will, they will on Fridays, like a day like this, they will take turns for the Muslims to pray. On Sundays, they'll take turns for the Christians to worship. Does that look like a bunch of talks to you? So the Nigerian police army had the rest of Lagos to protect. It was open land. I was in Abuja. It was the same thing in Abuja. People were camped out in front of the police headquarters and then Unity Fountain. I used to go to police headquarters to go and give food. I donated my car. Nobody even tried to uproot the flowers in front of the police headquarters. So the rest of Abuja was there to be policed. There's nobody who said police should not protect Lagos or the army if the person doing it was not at the designated areas by the protesters. These areas were designated, for God's sake. So there's no reason for us to say that, oh, somehow the people who are, so it meant that people had left Lekki toll gate will now go back and be looting. No. But the government, in wanting to blackmail NSAS protesters, unleash these looters, thugs, first on the NSAS, and when those ones succeed, they start going to neighborhoods. Whose job is it to protect the neighborhoods? Police. You know, let me tell you another thing. During COVID, do you remember that during COVID, which is not NSAS, there were people known as 1 million boys in Lagos. They were going from house to house to rob people. But one day, all the neighborhoods set up their neighborhood security units and went after them. Do you hear about 1 million boys in Lagos anymore? Because the people were tired of them. And in those cases, I think the people took laws into their hands and fought back. So the NSAS protesters also have security committees. If you stole a phone, and go ask anybody who was part of that protest, if you stole a phone within the grounds of NSAS and they catch you, they will hand you over to the police because there were policemen there until they went rogue on the NSAS protesters. So don't let us confuse these facts and start falling for the narrative of, oh, it's going to be hijacked. You know, I've been hearing protests being hijacked forever since I started protesting in 1989, 1992. It's the same excuse government gives. Oh, we can't let you protest because it's going to be hijacked. Who's hijacking a protest if it's not the government? It's the government that's always hijacked protests and turned it bloody and violent.
So
Yes.
we can use this to look at what's going on now is more like fear mongering, because this morning I was wondering that there is so much
This is
fear
fear mongering.
mongering.
Look at the whole announcement that they are going to start doing Oro Festival all over Lagos for 15 days. What do you think that is about? It's to provoke the public, to create fear and panic. What's the meaning of Oro Festival? In the first place, Oro Festival is a family affair or a community affair. Even Oro starts at night and ends in the morning because it's the reason why men in their chauvinistic way don't allow women to see Oro because they are naked. Right? So now you want to put a curfew on the whole of Lagos to do Oro Festival. What are you trying to do? You want violence. They are provoking people to violence. So that when people go out to protest peacefully, some people will come out in the name of Oro Festival and attack you and claim that you are violating their tradition. And the government can say, well, we respect cultural tradition. Why don't you respect it too? Why did you go out? Does that make sense? Yes. And how many people are practitioners of Oro Festival? Not a lot that I know of. So if on that day now the protesters decide to wear masquerade costume and come out and fight, you will say that this is violence. But you are the one who set the stage for it. That's why I keep asking the media to place the blame where it is placed.
So how do we
Yes.
now hold these people accountable? The people who seem to be spreading this fear, people who seem to be, pouring in quote fuel in a fire that doesn't even exist. Because the thing is, people
It
say
is
we are coming
government
out
that is
for.
responsible
Okay.
for it.
So how
Yes,
do we hold them
government is responsible for
accountable?
it. Because they are running away from their shadows. They are running away from, they have conned people into during the election, rigged the election, and made false promises. Now, even the people who were foolish enough to vote for them are now saying they are hungry, find us food. Instead of them to look back at them and say, how do we resolve this problem? How, can we talk? They're saying we want to do Oro. Even the people who are going to do Oro in Lagos, are they not going to need food when it's over?
Joseph?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are they not going to need jobs? All the people that are doing Oro, they have to work now. Oro is not full-time job. Egungun is not full-time job. All those guys that are carrying Egungun, when they are done, they have to go and look for. Some of them are welder, carpenters. Some of them are graduates. They have to go and work now. Some of
There's
them have 9 to 5 jobs.
there's hardly
All
a
those people
rich
carry.
man. There's hardly a rich man who is the Egugu. Hardly ever a rich man.
And do you know who Egungun is? Have you ever seen an Egungun before? How would you know?
But there is a proverb. There is a proverb that when the Egugu start misbehaving, you will call the name of the person carrying it. Joseph, behave yourself. I know, so now you did it. Stop that.
And that's it. It's no. It is the Atokun that calls the name of the Egungun. Only Joseph will know the person who's inside the Egungun. You know, the outsiders will don't know the Egungun now. Maybe you know me, I carry Egungun go court before now in Abuja.
You carry
Probably me
Egugu.
alone know the Egungun where I carry go court.
You like trouble, Jesus. All
I
right,
carry
Joseph.
Egungun go court for Abuja before now. So nobody can use the Google to deceive us. I get my own personal Google for Abuja when I was there for 5 years.
Okay, so two things. Some of our
Yeah.
wonderful people, they report that they are trying to carry their loved one out of this system because they don't know what may likely happen. And there they are receiving them. One, are those countries not part of the problem that we have? Then the second one is, I'm having a fear that you have a very good friend of the DSS or SSS. If we are speculating that if they allow this project, there could be a dissonance from the policing agency. Are we, to some extent, maybe saying the wrong thing?
I don't know what you mean by dissonance, but let me address the first question about countries who are receiving this people. It is international law that if people are fleeing persecution, disease, or famine, other countries will receive them. If Nigeria were to be a good country today, not even there used to be people who come and seek asylum in Nigeria from South Africa. Do you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that the University of Lagos that you and I attended used to have a program for South African refugees specifically? You know, and later on they used to have a program for people from Liberia who fled war and Sierra Leone. So it's international law, that's standard. There's no country who will refuse you entering their country when you can prove that you are running away from something that is uncomfortable for you.
I think he's
It's
talking
unfortunate
about.
that Nigeria-
I think he's talking about the leaders who their kids
On recess.
who are on recess and running away. I think he's referring to those people.
Yeah, but those countries have no way of knowing who is who. And in some other ways, which is interesting, I should tell you, the countries are also happy that these thieves are bringing their money to their
Of
own country.
course.
Yes, they're happy. The UK, do you know how much UK makes from Nigerian students every year? Even Ghana there. I don't even want to go as far as Ghana. Let's talk about Benin Republic. Do you know how many students of Nigerian descent are going to study? People studying English in Nigeria, they are run to Benin to go and study French to obtain a degree because Nigerian schools are not good. So most of those economies, Benin, Ghana, relies heavily on stolen funds from Nigeria. But it's not only in sending their children to school. There's a whole medical tourism that used to be in India. Now it has shifted to Egypt. These days, you hear an average Nigerian person, especially all those high people in Abuja who no longer can afford to go to the UK because medical costs have skyrocketed in those places. They're all going to Egypt and India. India makes over $5 billion from Nigerians from medical tourism alone. That's more than the budget of all the southeastern part of Nigeria. You get my point?
Yeah.
So, yes, almost. The same thing with Egypt. Like I mentioned airlines. If Nigeria bans airlines today from the British Airways from entering Nigeria, they will have a recession in the company. You know, so the same thing with all this Lufthansa. You see, these Emirates that is coming back. Not only do they travel from Emirates for vacation or for leisure, they also use it they also carry money to Dubai, physical cash. So we all know this.
You remember the UK schools were complaining when we started having issues with Nigerian students. They were complaining they were going bankrupt because we're spending so much money in their schools.
Exactly. You know, the statistics are there. How much they make from? You see, That's what people don't understand that we keep saying, and it drives some of us crazy. So that's why they think that we're troublemakers. And I don't deny it. I make a lot of great trouble. And I won't stop until these people understand that we are not slaves or animals and should be treated with dignity.
Mm.
You know the cost of sending an average child to UK, some UK secondary school, a nursery school they call Eton, is enough to run 5 to 10 secondary. Just a child is enough to run 5 to 10 secondary schools. You know, did you not see what Yaya Bello went and did for two of his children? The amount of money he paid
In
for school
advance.
fees in advance. That money is almost $1 million just for two kids. That's, if you convert to naira, is $155 billion, right? Is that not?
Mm-hmm.
Is that 155 million, right? If you invest 155 million naira on all the schools in Okene, they will be looking like five-star hotel bedrooms. If you put toilets there, you put air conditioning, you put solar on the roof, you change everything, you paint it, you pay the teacher very well. But that was spent on the child of two of his kids. And that's nothing. You know, if you go to that school and you see the register, and then their invoices, all the governors are doing it, all the ministers are doing it, local government chairmen are doing it.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah,
my
yes.
sister was telling me about one school in Canada that school is quite expensive. They just want to check it out because they live there. Turned out that with most of the black children they saw in the schools,
They are
that's from
Nigerians.
Nigeria.
Yes,
Nigeria.
yes.
Now, let
So
me,
so
okay,
after
finish. Please
yes, after
finish.
all this conversation that we're having now, why are you still worried that there will be a protest? You should be thankful that Nigerians are peaceful people. The problem we are going through in Nigeria, it's happened in several countries, and the way the citizens responded is different. Though.
Yeah.
They
Some people
respond
are,
very heavily
some
against
people
their
are,
leaders.
okay, some people are
This is the
wondering.
kind of stuff that happened in Romania for years, and one day they just turn their. Have you heard about Romanian Popescu, who
Mm-mm.
his wife, who and him and his wife were executed in one day? I am not preaching bloodshed. I don't want anybody to be hurt. That's why we're advising the people who are in charge of this institution, army, police, DSS, to restrain themselves and to be patriotic and to be respectful of the rights of Nigerians. Because if they waste anybody's life, they should understand that the way the world works now, they have just taken a loan and they must pay it back, even when they have retired from work and office.
Now, you said respecting people's rights and all that. Some will tell you that it's our right to have freedom of movement that day, whether we're part of the protest or not. So people are wondering, why must roads be blocked? Why must you block roads? Some even said that during
In
the
the
Ojota
conversation
one.
that we've had so far,
Yes.
in the conversation we have had so far, I've mentioned to you that anybody's going to block roads. Did we not just have a conversation now that people have requested to use the Eagle Square so that there won't be blockade of road?
Hmm.
Even at the Lekki toll gate, there was movement of traffic. They had a whole team that was helping people to pass. You get, and if you can't pass the place because you're afraid of it, then there are alternative routes. Protests are real. They are part of how society dynamically evolve. In fact, they are so important that there's nowhere in the world that protests don't happen, including the US, where everybody says US. There's there's protests everywhere in the US. Everywhere you turn to, there's somebody. It might be a single protest. US had some of the biggest protests called Black Lives Matter
Mm.
historically. You understand? What was Martin Luther King known for? He mobilized all the black people and their friends. That's where he gave the speech, I Have a Dream. You know, they went to the Washington Monument and took over the place for days to fight for the rights of blacks, to have equality, to be able to vote, to have economic opportunities. So the people who want passage will be given passage. But it's advisable that all of us just join at once so that We don't waste time. We can do this. Like I keep telling people, if we all come out by 12 noon, Nigeria problem could be resolved.
Will you be in Nigeria? Will you be coming to join from the diaspora, or you're coordinating there?
Where you started this show, what did you tell me? You said there's technology now. Yes, and technology allows you to do stuff from wherever you might be. I'm not saying I'm not coming, but I'm just saying that's irrelevant. I'm just one person, right? In 2012, when we did Occupy Nigeria, where was I? I was in New York. I was the one who held up the minister who came to a town hall meeting in the US to come and bamboozle us. I was the one, and it was one of the most significant protests at that time, But this one, we're talking about division of labor, right? Just like we are doing on your show now. You are doing your part, right? Some people are going to print leaflets, some people are going to distribute it. All of us on the day will go and protest. And it's global. I've said it, this is a global protest. So some people are going to fight online, some people are going to fight offline, some people are going to fight virtually, some people are going to fight in between. I don't want to go in the spiritual realm because then you start bringing religion into it. And I don't want to hear religion in this matter because prayer is part of the thing that put us where we are now. Too much prayer.
So you ran through a list, even though we didn't go through the list completely. The list is out there. At what point will we stop? Because they may not respond to everything. They may respond to everything. If they respond to good enough, okay, this session has timed out. We're hoping that he can log in back. He will log in shortly. While we're waiting, 0700 903 903 903. We'll take a couple of calls. Hello, how are you? No. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah. Your name?
Hello, good morning.
Morning. All right, 30 seconds. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello, good morning. Hello.
Okay, that's weird. Okay, let's take that one. We have 30 seconds per person. Hello, how are you? Go ahead.
Hello.
Turn down the volume on your radio set,
Hello?
please. Yes, go ahead. Your name. Go straight on.
Hello.
I can hear you. Go on.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Thank for better.
All right, 30 seconds. Go ahead.
God will bless Sowore for Nigeria. God will make him. He will reach 100 years because it's that kind of people we need to this time of situation to recover Nigeria because Nigeria is already dying. Nigeria is going. So that means God will help to raise people like him, like 20 people, where go carry this country go higher. Because if you leave this country with these people that don't have visions, they will cripple this Nigeria. Nigeria will sink totally. God bless him.
Amen.
God will protect him.
All right, thank you. Hello, how are you? There's another one there. Hello, how are you? Yeah, your name, please. Hello? Can you tell us your name? Hurry up.
Good morning, Madam Cordelia.
Morning, what's your name?
Yeah, this is Ifan calling from my papa.
30 seconds. Go ahead. Welcome.
God bless you for giving us this platform so that we can hear our view. And also, Mr. Sowore, for telling us what we want to hear and what is happening to Nigerians. God will keep him. God will bless him. God will increase him. And all the people that are part and parcel of this protest that is coming forth, that we can be able to stand and take back our country. Suffering is becoming unbearable to humanity in Nigerians.
All right, thank you.
It's
Sorry.
okay. God bless.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I have a lot of messages on YouTube. You can read off the messages there on YouTube. Some are here on WhatsApp. And you're saying, may God bless VOP for this. Hello, how are you? May we know your name?
Yeah, hello. Good morning. My name is Ugochukwu from South Africa.
Ugochukwu from South Africa. Welcome. 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, my sister, God will bless Sowore for us.
Amen.
Because what he's doing, we are in diaspora here. We are in South Africa. Like, protest is it's not a crime, it's something that everybody it's your right to do protest, because what is happening in Nigeria It's not nice.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. 30 seconds.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Hello. Okay, we'll take just this one before we move over to Sowore. He's already on the line with us. Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Turn down the volume on the
Hello,
radio
colleague.
set.
Good
Yeah, good
afternoon.
afternoon. Tell me your name. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, nah, I'm calling from Joe from Bariga anyway.
All right, Joe, you got 30 seconds.
When this problem, I identified it during Buhari's regime, the stealing of our money. The money was wasting, stealing. All the whole people he employed was stealing our money like hell, no, like Nigeria no go remain. So I was shouting in all radio stations. And then we come to this regime again. Something is happening. It really shocked me.
Okay.
And they say the Mr. President is the best politician. He knows what he's a very good politician.
All right,
and
sir.
then it surprises me so much. It surprises me so much what is going on. We'll go ahead with the protest. I'm 64 today.
Ooh.
64. I will come out.
So this is your birthday?
I will come out. No, January.
Okay, you are 64 years old?
Yeah, past January. Yes, I'm 64 years old.
And you're coming out?
We never saw it. Yes, I'm coming out. We never saw it like this before. That time you were working with this radio station.
Metro.
Market Street, right?
Yeah, Metro FM, yes. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye, sir. Thank you. Well, sure, welcome back. You just heard the person say there that he's 64 years old and he will be coming out for the protest. 64 years.
Yes. Let me wish him a happy birthday in advance because I think Christmas is going to come.
In January.
I think Christmas is going to come early this year if we do it right.
Yeah.
So I wish him well, and I appreciate his comment. So it's true. A lot of Nigerians have never had this bad, and one thing that's so annoying to me is when you hear these people in power say to you from time to time, "Oh, it's the last regime." They used to blame the last political party.
Jonathan,
now,
PDP.
As if APC is too. Now they are blaming the last regime as the problem, the cause of their problem. Who was the last regime? Is it not them? Were they not the ones who were the ministers of the last regime? Were they not Fashola, former governor of Lagos, that was in charge of works? It was not Aregbe, former governor of Osun, that was in charge of internal affairs. So what is all this nonsense about? Oh, so they're blaming someone else. And when they have nobody to blame, they start blaming us, the victims. We are the victims of bad governance. You can't turn around and be blaming us. It's just like that popular saying that you can't beat a child and say the child should not cry. Yes, that's what these people are saying. They are beating us black and blue, and they're insisting that we must not cry. And before, I used to appeal to the police, you understand? But there's no need to be appealing to police anymore. Let them come and do their worst too. But if Nigeria is better, it is all of us. There's no reason to even say, oh, we want police to be paid separate salary. We have pampered our police too much. That's why they always feel like whenever there's protests, they should come and shoot at us. But if in my lifetime, Cordelia, just listen to this.
Okay.
Each time students protested, we get nothing from the government. It's always the workers who get their salaries increased. During Babangida's era, they would send buses to workers. It was one of the protests that students did that led the NLC to start the transportation business that they have now, that makes a lot of them billionaires in the NLC leadership. Anytime we do protests, police get salary increase in Nigeria. But it's the same police that will be first to get to you, Mopo. They beating me in this country, man. That Nigeria. They've broken my nose, I have wounds all over my body. From police beating. This Nigeria police. But I will never stop advocating for them. But this time around, we are not advocating specially for anybody. It's for everybody.
Okay, I asked the question.
And you know why?
Okay.
I see a lot of police guys I used to see in the 90s who used to beat us up. If you see them, you pity them.
Retired now.
They are retired and tired. and braggarts. You'll be wondering, God, what were you doing that time that you were beating us up? But their standard answer now. I was I was only listening to others. No. Yes, they will say
Okay.
they are listening to others.
Time is fast running away with us. So the thing I was asking
Yeah,
before the session tripped off, I was asking, you have about 15 things lined up, requests and all that. At what point will we stop? Do you think the protest will stop if they get up to 7? Or if they get, must it be the 15?
no, we have been very generous with the requests. We're supposed to have 64 requests, one per year since independence.
64.
That's what we're supposed. Yes, that's what we're supposed to have. We're supposed to have one per year since Nigeria had independence in 1960. But we decided to cut it to 15. So, and the 15, the preamble is clear, non-negotiable. Before we start discussing the rest of 15 minus 64, we have to, first and foremost, these are conditions that must be met first. So we're not getting to 7 and then, say, oh no, we're tired. That's why people are requesting to camp out. This protest, as it's been planned, is supposed to be the longest planned protest in Nigeria's history. Normally we do protests for 2-3 days, but this one, the starting date is August 1st. Nobody knows when it will end or how it will end. But hopefully,
is there a map?
It will end well.
Is there a map? For Lagos, for instance, what is the map like? Where is the site? Is there a site?
In Lagos is going to be more than one. There's the Ikorodu, there's a Pwe, there's Lekki Ajah axis, there's Ikeja, Ojota. People are asking to hold rallies around the Festac, Ojo area as well. So it's still being discussed. But we're trying to look for a central place. But the way this protest is scheduled is supposed to be also decentralized. Since we are talking about restructuring a lot, we want to restructure the protest and decentralize. So a lot of people are also going to go to their local government headquarters because we are talking about bad governance. And bad governance is not limited to Abuja. It also involves the criminals at the state level, governors, who collect allocation, convert them to dollars, and run away with them. And the local government chairmen, who are their affiliate criminals. So everybody will be touched. It's an bad governance protest, and it involves everywhere there's governance in the country.
Okay, maybe we'll take just one more call because time is practically up. So we'll say hello, how are you? Good morning. Hello, good morning. I've picked your call.
Hello.
Morning.
Hello, good morning, Madam Cordelia.
Welcome, sir. What's your name?
My name is Comrade Iroko from Ejibo.
Welcome. You have 30 seconds. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I want to greet Comrade Sowore very well. And say this now, that you can see that that man is not tribalistic. At least he has heard protest before and is heading another one now against Yoruba, and it has heard against Hausa man before. Definitely, it's not sentimental in what he's doing. But I want to say something. Must this protest come up and government not do the needful before we start protest?
Okay.
Must we protest before government did not do their needful? If government start this, and if this protest hijacked by anywhere, definitely it is caused by the government by themselves. Because if there is no protest, nobody will hijack protest.
Okay.
Protest is not for free. You cannot go out for free. Nobody is paying us. But if we don't want to do it, and if we do it and it was hijacked, nobody should blame anybody.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Government.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Okay. Wait till you talk. Okay. Did you hear him?
That I heard him. In the last part, he said is he's speaking oral language, so you don't need to interpret that. You know that popular saying that the gods wants to destroy, they first make death.
Yes.
So there's so many of these things that are listed in the demands of protest. There are things that in other countries they take them for granted. They take it for granted. They take electricity for granted in every country I've been in the world. And I've been to 31 countries beside Nigeria. I've never been anywhere that has a terrible kind of electricity Nigeria had before. I have been to Egypt, I've been to South Africa, I've been to Ghana, Senegal. Ethiopia, Kenya, never. So if you look at the 15 demands, they are actually very small. If somebody says to you, let's go and do a new constitution because the one you have is illegitimate, it's just like somebody who you are married to who says to you, we didn't do traditional wedding. Let's go to my family. Is that too much to ask for?
Okay.
Maybe
let's
and
take
when we leave the family, let's go to registry and just get a document to show that we're legally married. That's what the constitution is like. It's something that documents the union of persons in a way that they agree with the terms. So I have to run too because I have another
we have
show.
to run. Okay, so finally, just your last line for everybody who would want to come out.
May quickly add
No,
the last line.
he's going.
If Wike did not see the letter that they sent for
He will
approval.
see it. He will see it.
Okay.
He will see it.
Wike will see it, and if he doesn't see it, anybody that's listening to you, if you know his number, just forward it to him by his WhatsApp.
So last line for those who are coming up.
We're sending that somebody should be in his office by now delivering it, by the way. So
okay. So your last line.
I don't have last line. There's a baseball player here in the US. His name is Yogi Berra. And his last line is always, "It's not over until it's finally over." That's my last line.
Okay, thank you very much, Sowore. Thank you for your time, and we pray for the best to come out of this, and let there be peace at the end of it all. Have a very beautiful day, and
let there be justice too. Thank you. Have
peace
nice
and
day.
justice. You take care now. Bye bye. Joseph Lauren, show your last line.
Well, we just have to find a way to ensure that peace reigns in Nigeria, and they are asking that Nigeria can be better than this. I don't think it's a big something that they cannot give an answer to.
I'm Cordelia Obe. Thank you very much. We'll continue this conversation tomorrow. Sorry, I can't take any more calls, nor read more messages, but let the conversation continue online.
Tomorrow is Saturday.
Sorry, on Monday. Joseph Lauren Shaw, thank you very much. Obasheks, thank you. Shegun, thank you very much. And everybody who made this work, thank you. And thank you for listening. I'm Cordelia Obe. Bye-bye.